he was warm. He was incredibly vulnerable and funny and smart, and he was so much fun to be around. We laughed a lot. We would always play and make fun of what was happening, and I want to keep those memories intact, and those make me smile.
Really nice to see you, Patrick.
Good to see you. Thank you.
I've thoroughly enjoyed what I've seen of this show so
Did you?
far.
Good.
Yeah, it leaves you obviously on that cliffhanger every single time, every episode, and you're like, okay,
Good.
give me the next one. Give
Wonderful.
me the next one. How would you cope living a double life?
I think it would be exhausting. And especially for him to keep it going for so long.
Yeah.
The compartmentalization of it. It's his ability to cut off emotionally from what he does as a killer, and then to come back and pretend to be the perfect suburban dad,
right,
and all of that. It's this very interesting dynamic to play.
Was it a mental switch in your head each time, because you are playing basically two different characters?
Yeah, a little bit. For me, the exciting thing was sort of to play the killer and not the romantic lead, and do something different. The stunt work and the driving and all of that, working with Michael in those scenes to me. So, and then the dementia was really quite fun. How do we tell that story visually? How do you play that emotionally? How do you show that vulnerability, but at the same time have be a stone-cold killer, but yet a warm, loving father, and then also have the vulnerability of, oh my God, I have a character flaw, I have an illness. How do I keep that secret? So he has multiple secrets going on.
That's a lot. It's
a
lot for you to deal with.
Yeah, and it's nice because we were just talking that we literally just finished shooting, and I hadn't had any feedback, and so you don't know if people are going to like what you're doing. Is it working? And it's nice to see that people have embraced it, and I hope they continue to watch the show because it gets better and more gets explained.
That's what we like. I was going to come on to the stunt driving because I was like, they haven't got a better person, an endurance racing driver, like behind the wheel. They let you do the stunt driving,
in
right?
the Porsche.
Did they let you do it?
They did. We wanted to do more. It was just hard because we had run a little bit over budget for various reasons, but we didn't have enough road. But yeah, I got to do all the driving.
Oh my God, I was going to say, there's not a better person.
It was great. I loved it. I could have shot that all day. I kept going, I think we need one more take, don't we? Can we do another setup?
Right.
And the crew loved it. The DP loved it until he was in the passenger seat. And he was doing the handheld, and I was pushing the car very hard, and I had to be very careful with the sidewalls of the tires, or the most vulnerable. And we had the Porsche Taycan Gran Turismo, which is this sort of the station wagon sports car. So the acceleration with the electric car was fantastic, but the problem was we had so much weight on the front end of the car, it would induce a lot of understeer, which means I'm getting really geeky out.
No, you know what? I'm a motorsport girl. I'm into my F1.
Okay, so you understand. And I think most people now, because of Formula One, the movie, and Drive to Survive, is that when you would turn into the car, I just couldn't get the grip I wanted. So you could really see me fighting, and I wanted to go as fast as possible. And then the first time I didn't know the brake zones and how far I could push it, but I did it in 3 or 4 takes and didn't hurt the car at all.
I was like, you're poor.
The only time I got in trouble was I was driving too slow and I hit the sidewall, and I just dunged the rim. And they were looking, and I was walking around the car, and everybody goes, "What did you hit?" And I was like, "It was because I was going too slow. I wasn't paying attention."
Yeah, but you're a Porsche guy, so they'll be fine with that.
The Porsche people were fine.
Exactly. I was like, you're their guy, right?
Yeah,
you're literally
good.
an
And it's a great car. It's a really good car.
Oh my God. Obviously, we talk about, the dementia and stuff, like the memory thing. You yourself must have a great memory because you have to remember scripts and all of this kind of thing. Is there anything that you are terrible, though, at remembering?
I couldn't remember. Like I was just telling, we were just talking about, I had these really early interviews, and there were so many questions about, what music am I listening to right now? And everything escaped me. And I remember I was traveling, I think I was in Portugal, and I hadn't used my ATM card for such a long time, and I could not remember my code.
But no one remembers that code anymore.
And then, we have so many codes now for our streaming services that sometimes it's hard to remember them all. So I have to write them all down. So, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then I go into panic mode of am I developing something? But I've done my screening. And I one of the things is now there are a lot of tests that you can take to see if you have an issue. So I really recommend, and this goes into another thing, is really make sure you get your physicals, understand your family history, and be, aware of that so that you can start to be working on preventative steps to help you live a longer, healthier life.
Yeah, I always feel like that every time I walk into a room and I forget why I went in there or what I was meant to do. I'm like, oh no, is this my memory going already?
I think because we have so much going on, and sometimes if you're on Instagram or the news and you're thinking and you're not present, and I think there's so much more stimulation that we're all dealing with constantly. It's much harder to be present.
Yeah.
And not to be worrying about the future and the fear of that, or the past and the regrets, and to be present. I think it's one of the biggest challenges we have. And we're not really teaching people those things anymore, and I think those are things that are very important.
I will say, Patrick, you are coping with everything remarkably well. You are a much stronger person than I am with everything that's happened recently. So I hope that you're doing okay.
It was hard to get up this morning and to hear the news, but we tried to get Eric to come in to play the brother Michael, and I had spoken to him, and I had stayed in touch with him, and I had texted him last week and was staying in touch, and I felt really sad that it was just his decline was so rapid that my heart really goes out to his children.
Yeah.
We have Eric in his beautiful state on the show, and that memory of him will always be there, and that's a beautiful thing. Right. He was a beautiful man. He was an intelligent man. He wickedly funny, and really a pleasure to work with. And we've lost a very special man.
Yeah.
And his children and his loved ones have lost a man who was no longer with them, and he's here with us in spirit, and he's now at least in a peaceful place, and it's the ones that he's left behind that are carrying the sadness of that.
You know what? My feed was full of pictures of you and him together this morning, and I just had the biggest lump in my throat seeing all of that. But this is all about memories and stuff, and I hope you have some wonderful memories.
I do have great memories, and it was hard to. I was like, oh, do we cancel today? And I was like, no, that's not the responsible thing to do. We have to kind of go and do this, but. If people were to spend time with Eric, they would love him even more so because, yes, he was physically gifted, and it's really ironic that he had this terrible disease that took all that away from him. But he was warm, he was incredibly vulnerable and funny and smart, and he was so much fun to be around. We laughed a lot. We would always play and make fun of what was happening, and I want to keep those memories intact, and those make me smile. And I'm glad I had time with him.
Oh, that's made me smile because it's a difficult time. So
it is.
And I hope everyone around him is doing okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
My pleasure.
Lovely
Thank you.
to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you.